Tom, welcome back to the Peace Hall.
Yes, good to be back. Wow, I mean, I forget how stunning this place actually is. It feels like you're in the middle of like Rome or something like that every time you enter. But it's good to be back.
What do you remember about the last time?
I remember at the time it was like the biggest thing we'd done at that point, and it was just so exciting. Obviously doing it with James as well, true legends. It was just such a memorable weekend. I remember it was like thunderstorms that they had to like cancel, they had to stop the show for like half an hour. But it just made the whole mood of the night just so magical, and really suited the place. Yeah, I can't wait to just be on stage here again, man.
James being just one of the iconic bands that you've played with through the years now.
Yeah, it's sort of weird. I sort of forget, what we've done in such a short period of time, really. And yeah, I've been very fortunate to play with so many legends. Rick Astley quite recently as well in Munich, which was pretty cool. I think that might be my favourite gig I've ever done. I don't know if there's ever been a match made in heaven quite like me and Rick Astley on the same bill. It was so much fun. But no, like the last sort of 3-4 years in particular have just been so wild, and we feel right now that there's so much momentum going on and it's only getting bigger, and it's just so exciting for all of us, man.
What was Rick Astley like?
So lovely, so genuine. Like, I've heard stories about how incredible and nice he is, but like he just made like the whole dressing room area very communal, and he set up a big telly in the middle. And I watched him do it himself, and just put like the World Cup games on and all that, and just sat and watched it. And he was just like so lovely, so genuine. He watched our whole set from side of stage, and no, what a legend.
You say the last 3 or 4 years have been particularly great.
Yeah.
But you've been doing it a long time now.
Yeah, no, of course, and as well. I've been going doing shows since I was about 8 years old. But like properly doing festivals and like real gigs in a sense since I was about 12.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's all I've known really is being on stage and performing in front of people, and I think it's put us in such good stead getting all those opportunities quite early on. I was fortunate enough at the age of like 12, 13 to be playing with artists like James Bay and Catfish the Bottlemen and Shed 7. It gave me so many phenomenal opportunities to really just make me super confident at that age that, at that point I decided this is what I was going to do for the rest of my life. I've never really thought about doing anything else really since. And no, I've been going for a while, so even though I say it feels like it's been, such a short period of time where amazing things have happened, it has been pretty much my entire life really. So no, I'd argue I'm a veteran now.
Yeah. Tim Burgess introduced me to you.
Yes, that's right.
And I first introduced you on stage at the age of 10.
Yes, that's right. Yeah.
Do you remember?
Yeah, Kendal Calling, man. It was probably the first like proper festival I'd actually been on a lineup of. I'd snuck myself on stage at Glastonbury when I was about 10 as well. But that doesn't really count because I wasn't actually on the bill. But that was like the first proper festival I played. So thank you for that. That's amazing. And yeah, those guys, Tim and yourself, have been so supportive of me since then, and I certainly wouldn't be in the position that I am right now, with the momentum that feels like it's happening right now without people like yourselves. So thank you very much for that.
It's all on you, Tom, and your incredible talent. I wonder how much influence people like Tim Burgess, Shed 7. I know that Paul Smith, Maximo Parks played a part in your journey as well.
Yeah, I mean, these people have all been, fantastic and phenomenal, especially like Tim early on. It's just like being able to just be around how professional and how what you sort of find and discover as you play with these artists who have, really arguably made it, is they're all just nice. Yeah. They're all just like nice people. Whereas you meet a lot of bands who maybe a bit confident about who they are and what they've done in their careers, and maybe haven't met the heights that these artists have, and these people are just loving. I do genuinely think nice things happen to nice people, and they're all fantastic examples of that. And I'll just try now and get to the stage where I'm at that point now where I want to give opportunities to people like myself at that point. And yeah, I've just learned as a front man as well, it's certainly changed the way that I perform on stage in the last 2 years, year in particular, and it has just become like this big sort of concoction of different influences from these artists and these people that I've been lucky enough to share the stage with, and hopefully you can see some of their influences, not like stolen them, hopefully not, but certainly been inspired by, and it all just has added together and really made what you see now, I guess.
Have you had to work hard on the performance?
Totally, yeah. I mean, I must have done at least 1,000 shows in my life easily. But I think one thing that's quite difficult with artists, especially being a solo artist, I think you really have to discover what it is you're trying to say and what you're trying to do. A lot of what I was releasing and what I was doing for years, even though I'm still proud of that stuff and excited by it, it was always like you write one thing and then the next thing I put out was so totally different, and there was no cohesion to anything I was doing. But, I enjoyed the songs and I was just learning and I was just trying to work out what it is I was actually trying to do. And I spent about 6 months away, really, still doing the occasional shows, but really trying to work out what it is I'm trying to say, what it is I'm trying to do. And fortunately enough, I spent a lot of time listening to Talking Heads and LCD Sound System and Bowie, and I know it's Bowie, but my accent, I have to say Bowie. I've just sort of worked out that this is something I just genuinely really enjoy. As a solo artist, I'm always changing what I'm doing. Even the stuff I'm writing now, it's not necessarily the same as the stuff I'm playing and listening to. So it's always changing. But I think it's important, especially with body of works now, with what I'm doing, to have a bit more cohesion and for you to be able to see it and listen to it and go, all right, okay, that's Tom A. Smith. Whether that's Pink Polka Dots or the sound, and that's up to you. But no, it feels like it's really clicking right now, and every time I go into write or go into create, I know quite early on whether something's right or not for me.
Was the pivot from Tom Mouse Smith to Tom A. Smith a big moment?
Yeah, I mean, for me, that was during lockdown that happened. I'd sort of grown up always playing covers. I occasionally would write my own song, but I didn't really care whose song I was playing on stage. As long as I was playing on stage, I wasn't really bothered. And as sort of lockdown hit, and I didn't really know when I was going to be on stage again. And all I'd grown up with was either being at school or being on stage. And both of those things just suddenly stopped because it was when I finished school and all of that was done. And I sort of knew at that point, okay, if I want to do music, I want to be an artist, I have to learn how to write music. And through that, started to learn how to write and produce my own music as well. And for me, it was like I want to really refresh what I was doing, because it was never, in a sense, a novelty what I was doing, but I was a child, and that's what people sort of knew me from being as a kid, playing, with James Bay, doing covers of Shed 7 songs, which was amazing, put me in good stead. But I wanted it to feel fresh, and I wanted it to feel like I was coming out of lockdown as an artist, and as, with a bit of intention of what I was trying to do. And yeah, it wasn't really very difficult to pick the name, I must say. It is literally just my name. But I know a lot of artists who struggled with picking their names, and it was decided in about 5 minutes. But no, somehow we stuck with it. And yeah, it was for me, leaving lockdown and feeling like a fresh artist was so important, and it definitely gave me that.
And Tom A. Smith, to me, is now not just you, it's very much a band.
Totally, yeah. No, for sure. Even though, like, in the studio and the writing, I'm performing on the record in every sense, they help me really work out what it is suits me as an artist and suits me as a performer, and I just wouldn't be here at all without those guys. They're fantastic people that I grew up with as well. A lot of solo artists, have session musicians. I can't afford to do that, but fortunately I've met such incredible musicians growing up through school. Dylan and Fraser were in bands with my older brother through secondary school, and they were like in the soul band together at school. And every time I needed a guitarist for a gig, they would do it, or a drummer. And I was fortunate enough to meet Katie as well at college, who was just an absolute genius, so creative, so cool. I don't think I've met anyone cooler in music than Katie, to be honest. I think everyone who's met them as well would say the same thing. And yeah, it's just clicked really quickly. And Hannah, of course, I was fortunate enough that I've lived in the same household with her for my entire life as my little sister. And I didn't really clock until about a year ago that I literally just have like some musical prodigy living in the same house as well that I could certainly utilise. And she's been such an amazing addition, such like brought in so much professionalism, and you can't mess about with her. Like she's on it, and she's fantastic and keeps us all in check for sure.
I have a feeling that back then, when you were 10, when I first saw you,
yeah,
I think Hannah joined you.
That's right, yeah.
And she would have just been a baby.
Yeah, she'd have been she'd have been 8 at the time. And that's one thing, people always go, oh, you're the youngest person to ever play Kendal Calling. No, I'm not. Hannah is. So it's like, yeah, she's always sort of been part of the picture, and I maybe took it for granted for a little bit early on, and I was like, realised, oh, wow, yeah, she's incredibly talented. and she's a great songwriter as well and creator. But yeah, we've all just sort of got along so well. I don't think we've ever had a proper argument once, the five of us. Maybe it would be different if we were all involved in the music writing in a sense. We just go out and do all the holidays and the fun bit together. And I think it just adds to a really nice dynamic, and I think it really comes across on stage.
What does it mean to you to be here at the Peace Hall supporting the K's?
It means the world. It genuinely, like, these guys have been so phenomenal for me, especially in the last 12 months. We've played such memorable gigs with them, you know, in particular the Timemouth Priory a few weeks ago, which was amazing. And they've just been fantastic and such a great inspiration of how to just generally conduct yourself when doing these shows, and the professionalism is through the roof, and to not only, you know, be at this venue but to be here with them as well is so special for not just me but for the rest of the band as well.
Tom, it's brilliant having you here.
No, thank you very much. It's it doesn't ever feel real being here. It feels like you're just part of some like weird fantasy or something. It's crazy, man. I love it. It's what a venue.
You deserve all the success
Thank
you're
you
getting.
very much. Appreciate it.
Will you blind rank 5 of your songs?
I certainly can. Do you know what it is? I've never been asked to do a blind ranking in any interview ever, so I'm actually super excited for this. Yes.
All right, Tom A. Smith, blind ranking
Right, okay.
5 of his own songs. First, Fashion.
2.
What?
5.
Beautiful Way.
3.
It's All Over.
4.
I Don't Blame You.
1. That's spot on. That is perfect. That's absolutely spot on. Yeah, I'm pleased with that. Yeah, that's bang on.
Nice.
I Don't Blame You and Fashion for me is still like the 2 of my favourite songs that we perform. Not necessarily written because, you know, there's songs that I haven't put out yet that I would put above them, but those for me, every time we play them live, it's so fun, so much energy, and those were like 2 such important songs for like working out what it is I'm trying to do. And I think I've struggled to top them since, to be honest, in that sense. But yeah, man, I'm pleased with that. That's spot on. Yeah, I was worried that I was gonna very quickly knock it up, but as soon as I heard Fashion once first, that's a good starting point. That's like puts us in a good position. But no, I'm pleased with that.
Thanks so much, Tom.
Thank you.